Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Vampire Amazon Challenge in The Sims 4. We are following the reign of Queen Darling Cloudy Snarl, who has recently ended the breeding season with the birth of Lady Shannon's baby girl, Vampyre. Now the court's focus is shifting to other matters, like raising the girls into immortals who can carry the mantle of the next generation, and a topic Lady Akira has become very familiar with: marriage. Over the years, she and the Queen have been in several talks regarding this, and as Akira prepares to ask for the Crown Princess's hand for her daughter, it seems Darling might have some different ideas. Okay, so I know I had something else worked out for the way marriage was going to happen in the court, because I couldn't find a way to incorporate male-female marriages into my current breeding system. But after the end of the last episode, where I mentioned how girls can be born with family influence from all the males in their lineage, I suddenly worked out how I could combine the two in a way I liked. I think I want to treat marriages as a way to connect bloodlines and guarantee that all the influence in a bloodline will get passed to the children in it. So the current breeding order will work as we've been doing it, but for married ladies, they will always breed with their husband instead of having like a new male every single time. Of course, I've had to adjust some rules with it, so male-female marriages will no longer result in an automatic judgment. And I know in the past some of you were asking about whether royal and noble marriages would impact influence points gained. At the time I said no, but I'm changing that to a yes. Females that marry a royal male will gain 2 influence points, and females that marry a noble male will gain 1 influence point. Marriages will be arranged by the queen or mothers of a couple because connecting bloodlines is a family affair, not an individual affair, or necessarily anything to do with love. Which means that only sons and daughters born within the court can marry, and because of this, each couple will have pressure to maintain their marriage alliance. If for some reason a female chooses to divorce her husband, she will lose all the influence points she gained from the marriage. But that is where my head is at currently. So as you guys saw, Queen Darling was having a conversation with Lady Akira, her closest counselor, and she essentially made some comments that stopped Akira in her tracks, because Akira was going into that conversation trying to essentially set up to ask the Queen for the Crown Princess's hand for her daughter Zuleika, and we know that Akira has been setting this up from the moment both girls became children and started visiting their mothers in the main court. And previously, there was something else that had been established about the way marriages were going to happen in court for the next generation, and Akira kind of was laying down the road for her daughter essentially and had all these plans. Suddenly the Queen has done a pivot and decided that that is not the way marriages are going to occur, that it is going to be a way to kind of bind bloodlines together, ensure influence and security for offspring. Because think about it this way, if you have a different kind of breeding partner, or if you have a different male that you're breeding with for every pregnancy, then the influence points your daughters are going to be born with are not guaranteed. It's going to be all over the place, because you might end up breeding with a peasant, sometimes you might end up breeding with a royal or a noble, like there's no guarantee, right? And some daughters will be more advantaged than others. Whereas, if you have a marriage alliance with a noble male or a royal male, or someone that has essentially really good pedigree and have a bunch of like royals and nobles in their lineage, a bunch of forefathers who are royals and nobles, then you're breeding with that male every single time. So every daughter you have within that marriage, they're going to have a guaranteed amount of influence they're going to be born with. And the further down the generations we go, we're going to start having girls born with more and more family influence, which is what we'll kind of call it. And obviously that's going to add to the overall influence points they have from, stuff they gain in court, the roles they have. So it's more beneficial in the Queen's mind to pair up the sons and daughters born within the court. And this has completely thrown what Akira had planned kind of out of whack. So I think Akira is reeling a little bit, but let's see what all the other ladies are getting up to. I don't think this news is something necessarily that has seeped into the rest of the court just yet, I feel like for now, Akira is keeping it to herself because she's trying to work out how the hell she is gonna like make this work. But let's see if Caleb, she wants to cook an excellent meal. Let's see if she can cook something for the children, because we know that she likes doing that. Why don't we go ahead and make some... hold on a second. Why don't we make some Burmese samosa soup? That actually sounds very nice. We'll make some of that for the kids. I don't know if she'll be able to, because she doesn't seem to have a whole lot of room to work right now. But Caleb, obviously, she's just going about being like the really kind, very sweet lady who's always making all these treats and yummy foods for the kids. And I feel like growing up, this might be something that they remember and have kind of a fond memory of, the fact that there was one really approachable lady in court who used to kind of do all these things for them. So I definitely think Caleb has the right way of it, more or less. So she's over here making some yummy food. Oh, that looks so good. I kind of want to eat it. She's going to leave that for the kiddos. Lilith, meanwhile, wants to invite over a sim. And I'm going to say that she probably wants to invite over Vladislav. And it seems as though Vampyre has aged up into an infant, so definitely we're going to be giving her a makeover once I finish going through everyone's whims. But let's see if we can invite over Vladislav to chat with her and see how things are going. I think Lilith, remember how in the last episode Shannon was going off at the Queen, which was kind of a shocker? She was going off at the Queen for making Lilith a counselor, but then the Queen was reassuring Lilith that Shannon has failed her in ways that Lilith hasn't. I think the Queen probably mentioned her disappointment in the way that maybe her daughters were turning out, like something was lacking in their education, and she's a little bit worried about that. And I feel like Lilith, in appreciation of the Queen kind of believing in her, maybe wants to do her duty and check up on Lady Vladislav, who is currently at the female faculty, to see if everything is going okay with the youngsters there. So I am actually we're gonna summon Vladislav because she is apparently sleeping, but honey, now is not the time to be sleeping. So let's see if we can get Lady Vladislav to come visit us. So, okay. Let's go ahead and maybe discuss neighborhood changes with her. Just engage with her a little bit, check in on her, see how things are going. Because now all eyes, I think, are going to be on what sort of girls they age into as they become teens, because that's when they're going to move into court officially and start actually participating in things. And if their personalities are troublesome, if they end up behaving like Shannon, like imagine the girls end up behaving like Shannon in court, they could end up in danger and get like a judgment. I'm kind of surprised that we have not had a single judgment up until this point, but with the way Shannon's acting, I don't know guys, things might be changing. Okay, Shannon, meanwhile, did have something she wanted to do, but apparently it isn't here anymore. She wants to rile up a sim again. She needs to keep a cool head, and apparently she's not doing that. So let's see who she has the lowest relationship with. She has a 61 with Caleb, a 35 with Lilith, a 28 with Akira, and she's got a 28 with Akira and a 28 with Queen Darling. Well, in this case, there's no compatibility to guide us. And then we go by status, and we know that Akira is a counselor. She's a lower status than the Queen. So Shannon is going to rile up Akira because she would kind of see that as more of a safe bet. She still apparently hasn't given up on the fact that Lilith is not worthy of being counselor, but she's already argued with the Queen once, and the Queen has more or less kind of put her in her place. So I think Shannon is going to still kind of air her grievances, but she's going to be a bit cautious instead of going to the Queen. I feel like she catches on to the fact that she made a mistake, but she catches on late. Like it's too late by the time she's done the mistake. She has realized, though, I think, that she slipped up by riling up the Queen, so she's now going to go and vent, I think, to Akira rile up Akira, because I think Akira was there when Shannon was put in her place. But more than anything, I think Shannon would be upset that Akira, as the wiser counselor, isn't counseling the queen the way she should be counseled, and isn't kind of taking Shannon's side, and acknowledging the fact that Lilith is essentially a newcomer and she doesn't really know how everything works. So if anything, Shannon should be given that chance. So I think she is going to go and rile up Akira. But I already see a problem, because if she's going to rile up Akira in front of the queen, I don't know how the queen's going to interpret that, So yeah, she's complaining to Akira. I feel like Shannon sometimes tries to act a little bit too smart, but it backfires on her. Maybe in this instance, she was trying to act a little bit too smart by putting her point across to the queen by complaining about it in front of her, but to Akira, as if she's talking about something else, but hinting at the fact that, she's not happy and the queen's doing the wrong thing. But even Akira wasn't pleased with that, and I feel like the queen would have witnessed this behavior and maybe thought that Shannon is actually more immature than she expected, which is not good. Meanwhile, Akira has other things on her mind. I don't think she's in the mood to put up with what Shannon's saying. She has tried to advise Shannon in the past that this is not the way you behave. Apparently Shannon is not getting the message, and right now Akira could not care less. She wants to listen to some summer strut music. That's kind of what she enjoys. She did come down, but I think she's going to head back up here. And she's going to listen to... Where is it? Summer strut music. But Akira has just been given a huge blow by the queen because of this sudden announcement that the queen made about her plans for marriage in the future. And I think Akira couldn't get it out of her mouth that she was hoping to pair up her daughter Zuleika with Crown Princess Zara, because as soon as the queen said her piece, Akira realized that, the queen's not going to be receptive right now if I bring up what I wanted to initially. So she had to kind of close her mouth and back up, and now she's trying to think through what that means for her and what that means for her daughter. And then we have Queen Darling, who actually wants to be friendly with Lord Yorick, which I find very fascinating given that she just changed up the marriage rules. So what is going through the queen's mind? Is she actually considering Lord Yorick for one of her daughters? I don't know. She has 3 daughters at this point. She has 3, right? Let me check her family tree. I think she has 3. She has 3 daughters at this point. And if we go by the fact that only the sons and daughters born within the court can get married, we only have 2 males, which means we can only arrange 2 marriages. We only have Crown Prince Zoro and we have Lord Yorick. So with Crown Prince Zoro, the queen kind of has 2 options. She has Zuleika as an option, but now she also has Shannon's daughter Vampyre as an option. So depending on, where she might kind of want to arrange those marriages, or where the mothers might. So, at the end of the day, the queen has a hand in everything. And then she has 3 daughters to arrange with Lord Yorick, potentially. So she kind of wants to talk to him. She wants to get to know him a little bit. And the fact is, she has good compatibility with Yorick. She has bad compatibility with Zuleika. So I kind of wonder, had Akira even brought up the idea with Zuleika and Zara being a thing, whether the queen might have become upset by that, because she does not really like Zuleika very much. So I don't think she would see Zuleika as kind of good daughter-in-law material, but she really gets along well with Yorick, or not gets along well, but she likes Yorick. She has good compatibility with him. He basically makes a good impression on her. So she wants to talk to him. Now, where is Yorick? Is he? I don't they're not here, but we're gonna call the kids over. The queen's gonna arrange for the youngsters to come visit the main court, because now that she's kind of got this idea in her head, I think she definitely wants to talk with Lord Yorick. She's suddenly become very, very fascinated in the late Lady Miko's son. So a lot of fun things for us to think about, to be honest, about the way things might be going. Currently, where it stands, it seems as though the two marriages that we have the potential of doing within the court with Zora and Yorick, they're going to be in the queen's hands. Because, like, you know, Zora's her son. She's going to arrange him with someone. And Lord Yorick most likely could be married off to, like, her daughters. Although, Akira could get her daughter married to Yorick. Shannon could also get her daughter married to Yorick. So it doesn't necessarily mean that the princesses have to be the one to get married to him. But that's definitely fascinating. Yorick is game with, like, everyone. But Zoro is, you know, obviously only going to be paired with either Zuleika or with Vampyre. So there's a ton to think about. But where are the kiddos? The kiddos haven't come yet. Okay, well, she was having her bath, but I'm actually gonna, once she goes upstairs, I'm actually gonna summon Yorick over, because the queen is very, very interested in talking to Yorick. So let's just summon him over. And we can chat with him. Let's see. Now he would be in one of our clubs. So Yorick, little boy Yorick, let's chat with him. She just wants to be friendly with him in general. Let's go ahead and let's see. I don't think we want to share conspiracy theories. She's gonna fire him up. Not set him on fire. No. She is just going to be really energetic with him, because I think she's suddenly thinking all these thoughts, all the possibilities of, you know, how the future might look with the different bloodlines she can combine within the court, and I think she would be very excited and very, very thrilled. And she's seen this young man, and he's made, like, a really nice impression on her, and the queen is already eyeing Yorick up for one of her daughters. But I wonder if Akira or Shannon might potentially see that the queen has her eye on Yorick, so when the time comes, they might kind of scramble to get their own daughters arranged with Yorick. I don't know. But then a lot might also hinge on whose daughter the queen decides to marry her son to, because the other lady kind of won't really have an option, you know? And this is a way for them to set up influence for their granddaughters. I mean, by securing a marriage, you're ensuring that your granddaughters are going to have better standing in court. They're going to have more influence, and it's kind of going to help your family, right? It's going to help your bloodline succeed and thrive compared to others who might come. So that's kind of a fascinating thing we've got going on, and that actually has me really, really excited. But okay, I'll kind of let these ladies do their own thing. Oh, we need to actually go. I'm gonna have to take them on a hunt. I'll probably do that off camera. I also need to give Vampyre a makeover, so that's kind of gonna be fun. Lady Shannon's daughter, Dame Vampyre, has aged up into an infant, so we're taking a look at her in Cass. She's inherited her parents' brown hair and her father's green eyes, and I'm gonna be honest, she's so flippin' cute. I think she might be perhaps the cutest girl that we have had so far. She's a wiggly little one, so definitely a handful. That really makes me wonder if she'll take on her mother's traits as she continues to grow, which is gonna be very troublesome. But I definitely feel like Shannon is gonna be very pleased with her baby girl. And with that said and done, I'm going to leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.